we are sketching the supply and demand curves for French wine, again having the quantity on the horizontal axis and the price on the vertical one. And this is our supply curve, and that's the demand curve for French wine. And we have to see what happens if there is a government subsidy for producers. So what actually happens is that the supply curve shifts to the right, indicating now a greater quantity of French wine demanded, and as you can see, a lower price. Why is the price lower? Because costs of production are now lower thanks to the government.
Your instinct is to think that if there's a given subsidy from the government, let's say there's a €10 subsidy on a litre of wine, for example, your instinct is to think that the price of the wine will fall by the extent of the subsidy, by €10 a litre. In fact, if you look at the diagram that we've just drawn, you can see that that's not the case. The extent of the subsidy is given as the difference between the two supply curves. So this distance here is the extent of the subsidy. In my case, €10. How much has the price fallen? By somewhat less than that, by this distance here. It might be 4, 5, 6 euros, whatever. But the price fall is less than the size of the subsidy. How do we explain that? Actually, when the government subsidises an industry, part of the benefit gets passed on to the consumer in the form of lower prices. Part of it gets retained by the industry itself. What determines the extent of the price fall relative to the size of the subsidy? It's determined by the elasticity of demand and supply in the market. Demand and supply conditions determine the extent to which the producers are able to retain the subsidy.